Today, we're going to be looking at the top 5 best guns in Modern Warfare 2. And I literally mean the most overpowered guns. If you're not using any of these guns, you're probably dying to these guns all the time. Like, these are the ones that are just going to smack every single person you come up against in MW2. So make sure that you guys are using these classes. There's 5 options. I mean, if you don't like one of them, there's 4 other ones to choose from. So hopefully you guys do enjoy it. And let's get straight into the class setups. What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Modern Warfare 2 video. Like I said, man, today we're only going to be looking at the best of the best weapons in the game. So we're going to be talking about all of those. You got ARs and SMGs on this list. There's not much else to put onto it, but yeah, we're going to get into that. If you guys could drop a like on this and sub to the channel with those notifications turned on, that would be amazing. And let me know down in the comments below, what is one gun that you love using that you don't see many other people using? Now, honestly, mine's going to be the ISO Hemlock, which coincidentally is on this list. Now, a lot of people do actually use the ISO, but I don't see enough people using it. But it's really good in terms of overpowerness. So let's get into the first class setup. The first one I want to talk about is the M4. The M4 is literally one of those guns where it's just never going to be bad. It's always going to be considered a good weapon. It's going to be considered one of the best for all the time. Now, I got a different class for you guys this time. This class is completely different than I normally throw on for it, but it's built for long range and it's built for close range at the same time. So it has barely any recoil, but it also has really quick speed. So you guys are going to like this one. The first attachment that we're going to throw onto this one is the 14-inch carbine shroud. Now, this one gives you recoil control and bullet velocity, but you got to keep in mind that it does take away movement speed and ADS speed, so it makes the gun a little bit slower, which is not the worst case scenario. And then in the tuning, we're going to put the recoil up to 0.34 and the ADS to 0.27. This is going to make the gun really quick, but also still remain and keep that recoil intact. You don't want that to be too crazy. The muzzle is going to be the Echoless 80. This one right here gives you sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness all at the same time, so it's really good. Then again, it takes away some ADS and aiming stability, but that's not much that we could change that. Like, we're going to put the ADS up in the tuning anyways to 0.86, and then the bullet velocity to 0.55, so it's going to actually make this gun pretty decent. And you guys are going to notice that a lot of the attachments on these weapons kind of take away some sort of ADS or recoil, but we always get it back in the tuning. Now, another attachment that I have on this one is the optic, and that's the Slimline Pro optic, which really only takes away ADS, but it gives you a nice little red dot sight. And as you guys can see, the gameplay in the background, I went off with this gun, man. This gun's insane. And I don't normally run optics, but they actually do help a lot. The ADS is going to be at 2.03, then we're going to set it all the way to close. And then we got the Torrent Span 9 for the stock, which gives us recoil control. It does take away some crouch movement speed and some ADS, but again, nothing to worry about. In the tuning, we're going to put the ADS to 2.32 and the aiming idle stability to 0.85. And then for the final attachment, we got the Sakin ZX grip, which gives us recoil control. And normally I say run a grip that gives you sprint to fire or ADS, but in this case, we need the recoil control for this gun. But it's okay, because in the tuning, the ADS is going to be at 0.39 and the sprint to fire is going to be at 0.26. So this gun is actually insane. You guys want to use it. It's a complete different class than I normally use for the M4, but I find it a lot better. It's not going to be one of those classes where you see on the meta uploads and stuff like that. I just think it's better, to be quite honest with you guys. Next off, we're going to get into an SMG, and that is, well, it's not really an SMG. It's an AR. It's the Cast-Off 74U, but it's pretty much an SMG, alright guys? I know it's classified as an AR in the game, but it's pretty much an SMG. Like, it plays like an SMG. I wouldn't even play this gun for long range. Even though it's actually decent at long range, I wouldn't consider it long range. The barrel is going to be the BR209 barrel. This gives you movement speed and ADS, which is really nice. In the tuning, we're going to put it up to 0.47 recoil steadiness, almost maxed out, and 0.31 ADS, which is going to be, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. The muzzle is going to be the FJX Fulcrum Pro, and this one right here is just for the vertical and horizontal recoil control. It's going to give you a lot of that. And then in the tuning, the gun kick control is going to be at 0.23, and the recoil stabilization is going to be at 0.65. Then we're going to go to a laser, which normally I don't recommend running lasers. You guys know that. I don't like it too much, but when you do have to run it, it's not too bad. This one right here, the FTAC Grimline laser, gives you hip recoil control, hip fire accuracy, which is two things I don't care too much about, but it gives you a nice amount of sprint to fire speed. And the only thing is, your laser is visible when you're not aiming down sights, but that sprint to fire speed is something we could all use. It's really nice. In the tuning, the hip walking speed is going to be at 0.22, and the sprint to fire is going to be pretty much maxed out at 51. So that makes it really nice right there. Go into the next attachment. We got the Marquise, I hope I'm saying that right, R7 stock, and this one gives us crouch movement speed and sprint speed. and even ADS speed. Now it takes away some recoil control, but we got it kind of under control with this class anyways. You don't have to worry about that. We're gonna put the ADS down to 1.68, then we're gonna leave the bottom bar, just leave it at 0. You don't have to mess with that one too much. And then the final one is gonna be the True Tack grip, which gives us sprint to fire and ADS, which is kind of needed on this class. And then in the tuning, we're gonna put the ADS to 0.48 and the sprint to fire to 0.33. Going on to another weapon on this list, we got the great old TAC 56. Now I've given you guys this class a few times, so I'll just show it to you on screen. Just look at it quickly. We're not going to go into every single attachment, though what we will do is we'll actually go into the tuning so you guys can see. So the barrel, which is the 17.5-inch Tundra, we're going to tune it to 0.35 recoil steadiness and 0.19 damage range. After that, we're going to go to the VLK Coloss flash hider, which is the muzzle. We're going to tune this one to 0.58 recoil smoothness and 0.30 gun kick control. Then the Edge 47 grip for the underbarrel is going to be tuned to 0.49 recoil stabilization and 0.13 aim walking speed. And then the last two, which is the stock and the rear grip, the stock is going to be the Tactique, I'm not saying that right, there's no way I'm saying that right, brute stock, and this one is going to be 0.77 towards ADS and 0.85 towards aim walking speed. And then finally we got the Demo Clean Shot grip, which is the rear grip, and it's going to be tuned to 0.52 ADS and 0.09 sprint to fire. So that's the TAC 56 right there. Next off, we're going to go into the ISO before we get into one of my favorite weapons in the game, but the ISO Hemlock is a great gun. So this one right here has the barrel, which is the Fielder T50. This gun plays like an SMG and an AR as well. Just like the Kazov 74U, you want to use this thing. And then for the barrel, we're going to tune it to 0.18 recoil steadiness and 0.22 ADS. Then the Zulu 60 for the muzzle, which gives us a lot of stuff. It actually gives us recoil smoothness, damage range, bullet velocity, and sound suppression. It gives us a lot. It's really, really good. We're going to tune the muzzle to actually give us more ADS at 0.72 and bullet velocity at 0.42 rather than aiming idle stability. Going down to the next attachment, we're actually going to throw on a magazine, which is going to be the 45 round mags. Now normally when you throw on a magazine, you lose sprint to fire, reload quickness, ADS, and movement speed, which you do lose with this gun as well, but you don't feel it too much on this weapon, and just it feels like a solid gun. It's not as fast as most SMGs or anything like that, and it's not as fast as most ARs either, but it kills so smoothly. It feels so nice to use. I would just always recommend it. The stock is going to be the Arcom A7. I was about to say, well, I don't even know where I got that from. Arcom S4, which gives us sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, and ADS. We're going to hop into the tuning on this one and put it at 1.29 ADS and 1.08 aiming idle stability. And finally, for the last attachment, we got the X10 rear grip, and then this one right here is actually good because, like I said, it gives you ADS and it gives you sprint to fire, and that's what you usually want to put on for the rear grips. And then in the tuning, we're going to put the ADS to 0.55 and the sprint to fire to 0.28. So that's it for the ISO Hemlock right there. Now the final weapon on this list is a weapon that I never used too much. I didn't use this gun at all for like a good portion of the game, but that is the Bass P, and it's gaining popularity for good reason. This gun is really, really good, and this is a gun that I recommend everyone use. So for the barrel, we got the 10.5 Bruin Typhoon. So this one right here is great. You got sound suppression, which is awesome, but it kind of blocks the muzzle as well. We can't put a muzzle on if we throw this attachment on. It gives us hip fire accuracy, bullet velocity, and damage range, which is really needed on this gun. You want that damage range. We're going to put the recoil steadiness up to 0.44 and the damage range up to 0.34. Then we got the VLK Laser 7 megawatts, which gives us ADS, sprint to fire, and aiming stability. I love it when you get ADS and sprint to fire on the same attachment. It's honestly the best. In the tuning, we're going to put the sprint to fire to 0.37 and the ADS to 21.39, which makes it pretty solid. The underbarrel is going to be the X10 Nexus grip for recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. I don't really care about the aiming idle stability too much, but the recoil stabilization is nice. The tuning is going to be ADS at 0.54 and aiming idle stability at 0.09. Now finally, we got the last two attachments, and I don't really recommend this one if you're not good at controlling recoil, but that's the BR Stockless mod for the stock. It gives you hip recoil control, movement speed, sprint to fire speed, and ADS speed, but it also gives you a lot of like flinch, a lot of recoil, a lot of stuff. Like it's just really tough to control if you're not good with it. So instead, if you can't control the recoil, I would recommend the Bruin Flash V4 stock. But if you could control the recoil, amazing attachment, and I would always recommend doing that. It's not tunable, so we're not going to go into the tuning. The Bruin Flash grip is going to be the rear grip for sprint to fire and ADS, and then you guys already know the tuning is going to be 0.84 ADS and 0.25 sprint to fire. So that's the top 5 weapons that I think most people need to start using in the game. They're the best weapons in the game. You got to start using these ones to draw people like crazy, and a lot of people are realizing this and starting to use these weapons for sure. The Vaznav is great, but it didn't make the list, unfortunately. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel with those notifications turned on, and let me know down in the comments below your favorite weapon to use in the game. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.